I think those at the very far end, can you see this? No. No, huh? Alright. Okay, good morning everyone. Apologies for the slight delay. Okay, so welcome to BAIT 2073 Mobile Application Development. So this is our first official lecture, right? I still owe you all one lecture class, so maybe later on I'll arrange it with all your class rep and we see when we can actually replace our class, right? Okay. So most of you already attend your practical lab, okay? There's only one group, unfortunately, who haven't attended yet, right? Doesn't matter, we're gonna do it today. Now, for this course itself, I'll be your lecturer, all right? And most of you is gonna do your practical lab under me as well. And we also have Dr. C, right? So this is my email address. If you need to find me, you can look for my email address over here. You can also Google chat me if you need to. Right? And those for class rep, when you have my numbers, don't message me at 12 in the morning. Right? So let's move on. Okay. So through this course itself, you actually gain an insight of how we develop mobile applications. Okay, what are the technologies that we use, and what are the stacks that you need to learn about, right? Okay, for this long semester itself, we'll have 2 hours lecture, right? And then we also have 2 hours of practicals. So what is our learning outcome? There's 3, right? First off, we want to apply the mobile technologies and development methods to solve given methods, problems, sorry. Okay, so when we say to solve a given problem, you will see most of the questions that you're gonna go through in your summary of each chapter is gonna be something like a case study, right? So you need to apply whatever you learn to actual problems, Okay. Then secondly, you will need to apply mobile development methods to develop the mobile applications, which will be reflected on your assignment. Okay. Speaking of assignment, you all can see I've just posted our assignment in our Google Classroom. But don't worry, we're going to go through that assignment later on. So I'm going to explain everything about our assignment, yeah? Then the third one will be present a mobile applications and to be published in a team, right? Right. So these are the topics that we are going to cover. Okay. There's 7 topics, right? Introductions to mobile applications, user interface. For our user interface, we will have 3 subchapters, right? 3 sections. Okay, because there's a lot of things that we need to cover for our UI, right? And then we have our mobile application models, resources and data storage, location-based services, specialized instrument device, and the last one will be mobile application packaging and applications. So those of you who are really interested in preparing your apps to be published on Google Play Store, you will need to attend the last class, right? So over here, I will also share with you how you can actually monetize your app, right? And I can actually show you some of the examples that I have in my account, right? On how does what we call the Android's dashboard looks like. Okay. Yesterday, anyone who actually attended the Huawei mobile services? All right. Over there, actually, you will be able to see something very similar, okay, to Android dashboard, whereby you will have all the things that you need and require to publish your apps, right? Okay, so these are the references. Most of the references that we're going to use are from the developer guide in Android's developers. Okay, you can go through the link here. So how is our assessment looks like, right? So your coursework will be 70%, exam 30%. Okay, so you will have one written test, which is your midterm, which is going to cover from chapter 1 to 4. Right? You're going to have it in week 8, and then you have your practical assessment, 36%, right, from chapter 1 to 3, okay, which cover all the UI. Okay, it's going to be in week 10. And lastly, your assignment. Okay, your assignment will take up 50% of your coursework. Okay, you're going to present your final assignment in week 13. Right? I separated it into week 13 and 14 because we have a very big group. Right? We might take some time to actually finish everyone. Okay. So exam, 4 questions, right? And that's all for now. Okay, any questions? Okay, don't worry. This one is already posted in our Google Classroom. You can actually go through it, right? Okay, so no questions. Let's move on. So let's go to our first chapter itself, Introductions to Mobile Application Development. Okay, so today we want to know about the current state of mobile application developments, right? Then we want to know what are the platforms that we're actually developing on. So as you can see here, we're going to touch on Androids. Okay, most of you I already explained to you in your practicals that why we are actually using Android, right? First off, because open source and free, right? Okay. Then secondly, you do not need a high cost to actually start as an Android mobile application developer, right? As contrast to iOS, you will need to actually pay for your license even before you learn to develop. Alright? Alright. Then we look at the next step that you want to know is on the components of Android apps. And we will go through what is activities, what is services, what is content provider, and so on. Okay. So before I jump into this current state of mobile applications, okay. So hold on. Let's take a look at this video now. A quick one. So as you can see, we're starting to move back to some of the older versions, flip phones. Anyone use that before? Yes. Okay, so from the video itself, when was the actual year for iPhone to release its first smartphone? 2006 or 2007? Alright, it's about that year. Okay, so that's the point where we say that the evolutions of mobile phones actually started, right? Whereby you can see nowadays your phone itself is actually a powerful device. Okay, you can do a lot of things that you want to. Right, now let's jump into what we are going to know about our mobile apps. Okay, so first off, as a mobile apps developer, you will need to know what types of mobile apps that you're actually developing. Okay, so there are three types of mobile apps, okay, that we are actually have in the market. The first off would be native, right? When we say native, right, what does it mean? It means that when you code out something, right, let's say for instance you code out for Android, your code base will only be usable for Android's mobile apps, that's all. Okay, so that's native, right? Then if we are talking about hybrid, what does it mean? It's a combination between web and native, right? So a lot of times when you look at something like Flutter, okay, or Gap, those are what we consider as native, okay? Then lastly we will have web. So some people might ask, so why do we have web as a mobile app? Okay, when you install one of the apps, right, okay, or perhaps you just go into a browser, okay, you'll be able to see that most of the screen now, the browser, okay, we actually change it to be mobile compatible. So those is what we call web. Right? So let's go into detail. So how do we actually compare these types of mobile applications. There are a few ways, okay, 5 ways in comparison. First off, we look at the cost itself. Okay, let's take a look at native here. Why is the cost high compared to hybrid and mobile web when we want to develop for native? Any idea?
Because this can only run on the single OS.
Okay, you can only run on single OS. That means if you want to capture the big market like Android and iOS, okay, you will need two versions, and then you will need 2 teams to actually do this. Okay, which means your cost of labors is going to be double. All right, so that's one of the reasons why people nowadays try to opt for hybrid. Okay, which is like something like Flutter and so on. Okay. Now, hybrid and mobile web, of course, it will be low because of if we are doing hybrid, which means one code base can be applied to both platform or any other platform. Right? Mobile web, of course, once we have our website, we just need to make sure that it is mobile compatible, then it will be working. You don't have to adjust anything. Okay. Now, as comparison wise, of course, if we use native, okay, the performance of your app will be much more faster compared to hybrid and mobile app. Okay. Why? Because both hybrid and mobile app needs to depend on the speed of your network to adding the content into your mobile. Okay. Whereas in native itself, you will have your own database or your own way of storing your data, which might not require data transmission through the network. Okay, so the performance all depends on the native itself. Okay, distributions. Distributions means here how do we actually distribute out our mobile app. Okay, so both native and hybrid we can actually distribute it to our the normal channel, which is Google Play Store. Whereas mobile web we don't need to. Why? We just need to type in the address, okay, in the URL, then we'll be able to enter into mobile web. Okay. Now the fourth one, device feature. What does it mean from device features here? It means that how much of capabilities of the phone can you access to from your mobile apps. Okay. Of course, in native itself, we can actually access to wide range of hardware that is included in your mobile phone. Okay. Else hybrid, we still can access but limited. Okay, very limited. For mobile app, of course, that's what I mentioned, is very limited for you to access because why? It is still considered as a browser. So browser to access your hardware, okay, is highly impossible for you to do that unless for simple one like camera and so on. Okay. Now the last one, the most important one, okay, will be your code maintenance. For native itself, we need to manage multiple code base because we have different OS like iOS, we have Android, and then we have Huawei listening. Okay, which means you have to handle a lot of code. For hybrid and mobile app, okay, both are single code base. Right? Any questions here about the comparison of our types of mobile apps? Okay, how about I do one more thing? I will create a Jamboard, right? Whenever you have question, you can write it in the Jamboard, right? Just give me one moment.
เรา手写给扣吗？没有没有给扣。没有。他跟你说过。
差不多。
So from time to time, I'll take a look at our Jamboard here. If you have any questions, you can type it here. So our Jamboard, I need to share it as well. link. Go back to our here. I'll be posting our Jamboard in our stream here. Okay, so you can access our Jamboard through our Google Classroom. So this Jamboard, usually what I'll do, I'll keep the Jamboard for the whole semester. Okay, so that whenever you have any questions or you want to recall back whatever I said, you can actually take a look at our Jamboard. Right? Okay, let's move on. Now, let's take a look at some of the questions that we have here. According to Medium 2019, the 4 market moving apps trends in 2019 are 1. App Store consumer spending, right? Surpassed 120 million. Okay, mobile gaming net market increased 60%. Right? Then user will spend 10 minutes of every hour consuming streaming videos on mobile device. Publisher will produce 60% more apps with in-app ads and making up 62% of the USD 250 billion global digital ad spend. Now, in your opinion, which mobile app development methods, okay, either native, mobile web, or hybrid, is suitable for each of the following entities? So there are 3. One is Bernama, the Malaysian National News Agency. B, Super Mario Bros, the game developed by Sega. And C, Starbucks Central, a shopping mall. Okay, you can write your answer in our Google Jamboard.